There you go, Spudge. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chelsea. I create videos about my lifestyle, motherhood, cleaning and organizing, and I've really been enjoying doing these what I eat in a day videos. So you will see more of those on my channel. If that's something that interests you, please hit that subscribe button, the like button, leave a comment if you guys would like. It really helps my channel. Hey guys, so for lunch today I am making a Kalbasa cabbage barley soup, but I'm kind of adding my own mix on it. I will leave the recipe that I referenced in the description box below. I started off with some diced onion that I had frozen, and then I cut up a bunch of garlic cloves and added those along with the cabbage to saute for about 5 minutes first. The recipe called to saute it in some oil, but I just ended up using a little splash of water so it wouldn't burn the bottom. I'm trying to cut back on my oil because I've heard so many mixed things about it, but I feel like it's kind of extra calories that I don't need, and it is a very processed item, so I'm kind of trying to stay away from the oils a lot, so I just add a splash of water instead, and it works just as well. While that stuff was sauteing, I cut up the carrots. I've kind of been trying to use some things that I have in the fridge and the freezer, so I cut up some carrots that I had in there, and then I ended up adding, instead of actually cutting up potatoes, I had some like diced potatoes, like breakfast potatoes that were frozen. So we haven't used those in a while, and I just decided to toss those in there instead. And then I had a purple cabbage opposed to a green cabbage, so that's what I ended up using. So the potatoes actually ended up becoming purple, which was kind of funny by the time we were done with the recipe. And the girls were kind of helping me as I was going along here. The recipe called for kind of like an apple cider vinegar, but I didn't have that, so I just used white wine vinegar because it's what I had. I did 2 cups of water. It didn't actually call for the bouillon, but I had it, and I know that adds some extra flavor, so I ended up adding that. I did end up adding a little bit more water because I realized I had a little too much stuff in there. I probably added a little too much potatoes. I was cutting the recipe that I was referencing kind of in half, and then of course I added my own twist to it per usual in the recipes when I follow them. Here is Amy helping me add in the barley. I would have liked to actually have had more barley, and it probably would have been better if the potatoes were actually like regular, bigger chunks of potato, but it was still very delicious. Here I'm adding in the kalbasa, which I also had in my fridge. Typically, I'm plant-based when I eat, but I have been this month trying not to buy so much at the grocery store, using up what we have in the freezer and in the pantry, as well as obviously the fridge, and trying not to buy quite so many groceries. Here I'm just using an garlic and herb Mrs. Dash seasoning, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder. None of those items were actually in the recipe, but I don't usually follow a recipe and I really like spices. So I had to bring it to a boil and then set it on simmer for about 55, 60 minutes. And I did add a little bit more water because I was afraid it wasn't going to be enough now that I kind of added pretty much all my ingredients in. I decided at the end of cooking this, I was going to add in some frozen edamame and some frozen corn. So I just portioned that out and actually stuck it back in the freezer until the soup was done. Here I am adding in the corn and the edamame, and it was kind of frozen to the bottom of the bowl, so I was having some issues getting it out, but I just mixed it in so it would just warm it up, not really cook it very much because it didn't really need to be actually cooked. And so I ended up feeling like a coffee. I've been having decaf or like half calf coffee lately because I don't want to be consuming as much caffeine as I am. And I don't drink as much as other people, but it still is a little bit too much for my liking. So I'm trying to be a little bit more aware of that and kind of cut it in half. Just added some almond milk, some maple syrup, and it was coffee that was left over from the other day. So realistic what I eat in a day using my leftovers. With my soup, I ended up making a half of one of these Dave's Killer Bread Everything Bagels, added some cream cheese and some more Everything Bagel seasoning, and I had that with my delicious soup. I had some other plans for dinner, but I ended up not doing what I originally was going to do, and I didn't really feel like a very big supper, so I actually ended up having a later supper than I normally would today, and I just decided I wanted something kind of light, so I opted for some dairy-free yogurt. I think this is a soy yogurt. Typically I get a coconut yogurt, but this is what they had at the store, so that's what I got. And then I added some strawberries that really needed to be eaten up and part of an apple that my kids didn't finish. I also added some mixed nuts that I had and some hemp seeds on top and then a banana, and that was just about perfect. A little bit of maple syrup on top kind of curbed my sweet tooth. I feel pretty full, but not like uncomfortably so. It was very satisfying, and I do my best to listen to my body on, what am I craving, what am I feeling like, and eating more that way instead of feeling like I have to finish my plate, or feeling like I have to have breakfast for breakfast or something for dinner for dinner. Instead, going with the things that I'm craving and the things that I kind of feel like I want, and kind of going from there, hence changing around what I was originally going to do for dinner. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have a lot of fun making these what I eat in a day videos, but if there's something specific that you guys would like to see, please leave it in the comments and let me know. And hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, or night whenever you're watching this.